material culture and tradition. It's worn by both men and women in sort of very traditional styles. Generally worn as a sort of festive dress. My understanding is that it's currently worn. That it may have been the case once, but currently men and women wear it to festive occasions. Men in a sort of toga, and women, if I recall correctly, in a sort of two-piece costume. You may know more about it than I do.
No,
do you want to?
I had read that only men wove it.
Okay.
And it was woven for a person of great stature in the community.
Okay. I think it's probably spread out more at this point. We live in a capitalist society. If there's something people want, people will make it. So it may once have had that sort of precious.
I wonder how old the tradition is.
I'm sure we could find out. Google will tell you. Yeah. Wonderful, beautiful Google will tell us the entire history of it. So he's sort of conscious of and engaged with the history of kente cloth. He also speaks about adinkra, which is a printing method, a series of sort of icons that are printed onto fabrics. So I've come across his references to the use of this printing method, and my best understanding is that he's thinking of it in terms of how the labels are printed, because I don't see him working with it in these objects. So I'll be honest, this is a point where I'm a little unsure of what exactly is going on. But I wanted to show you two other examples of artists who are using specific local trash in order to make art. Yes?
Just before we leave,
Yeah.
I announce Ria's a figure.
Yeah.
He does work in New York and trained in New York, right?
My understanding is that he still teaches in Nigeria.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he came to
Yeah.
New York and then went back because there didn't seem to be an avenue for what he wanted to do here.
My understanding is he's one of the few people who didn't do that. But let's double check it. I was looking for examples of people who didn't do that.
Here because, again, San Francisco has a large thing.
Okay, but I mean, there's one in Toronto, there are a couple in New York, and I just feel like in the early aughts, museum collection sort of went bonkers and bought a bunch of his work.
Well, it's in their materials. It's in their
Yeah.
educational materials. That's
Huh.
what
Okay, interesting. That he studied in the US
But he was in New York, but he went back to Africa to find
afterwards.
to find the subject matter.
I'm disappointed in this, like, I thought there was one person who hadn't.
If you believe what I just said, I'll go back, I'll find out.
I mean, if it's in your materials, it's in your materials. Trust your materials.
Well, it's the museum's, education.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, other people.
Yeah, so Sundaram is an artist based in India. He's in Delhi, and he's sort of seen development in Delhi, which has been incredibly rapid, producing enormous amounts of trash, right? This very rapid turnover. And so he makes these huge sort of models of the city out of trash. So this is just one image from one of these substantial, and they're not, his goal is not accuracy, right? They're playful, they're quite beautiful, but they follow the model of the city. Sorry? Delhi, yeah. And then here's trash changes in different places. So here's a work by Eleanor King that she did for the University of Alberta, Southern University Art Gallery in Lethbridge, Alberta. And this is part of a larger installation. This is called Stacks. And so what she did was, before she got there, she put out a call through the gallery for discarded media, right? Things people didn't want anymore, garbage. So computer monitors, records, encyclopedias, VHS tapes, film reels, cassette, sound cassette tapes. Yeah. And then she took them and she turned it into this cube. Now inside the cube, it's hollow and things are plugged in and playing. So there's light coming off these old television monitors. There's this sense of sort of light glowing out of this and noise out of this stack. Now, its dimensions are based on a coal stack. So this is a region that had significant coal mining as a local industry. And of course, what are most of these things made of? Plastic. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Alberta tar sands, but okay, Alberta is basically a giant pile of filth. Like it just has been, they have been fracking there so aggressively that, I mean, the entire province is just sort of trashed. The levels of pollution are insane. So oil extraction has been a massive sort of shaper of the landscape and economy of this region. And so she's taken all this trash made out of oil, essentially, and some books, some cellulose, some wood, right? Before it was coal and before it was oil, it was trees. And so she's looking at the ways in which this sort of region has been shaped by the extraction of source materials and then the garbage that's made out of those materials. And she sort of presents them as this sort of coal stack. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sad. Sad loss of slide trays. So any questions just going back on this sort of practice of working with trash, or El Anatsui in particular?
No, I'm just thinking of also Big Eunice. Is that where you would put some of his work that he did in the big
Yes.
trash?
So Vic Muniz is, do you guys know him? He's an artist he makes images, often reproductions of sort of famous artworks, sometimes out of trash, sometimes out of things like sugar or chocolate syrup, and then he photographs that installation and presents it.
But there's a film, Wasteland. Yeah, it was at Sundance a couple of years ago. Several years ago, actually. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I've seen his work in museums, but I haven't seen the sort of production narrative. Okay, good. Sorry, you had?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, as he produces these, or his factory, or we're calling it, produces them, and then they go to these galleries. It seems like there's no way you know how to put it on the
Oh,
wall.
yes.
Like,
Thank you. The shape.
of shape and change, or, you know, yeah, like there's something there that.
So I've seen sources that say that he's very active in determining how it's hung. I've seen other sources that say even when he's not there, choices have to be made. So I think in most of the time he's actively involved in the hanging of the object and sort of determines its sculptural form when he hangs it. But sometimes the museum personnel do it without him, every now and then. It happens. But thank you, that's an important question.
Comment on how it might be lighted as well, because with all the gold, that would be.
Oh, I'm sure he participates when he's there to hang, and I'm sure he participates in lighting. Yeah. All right, any other questions, or are you guys ready for a break? Okay, so we'll come back at 6. Yeah? And then we'll have Mutu. Yeah. And who else have we got? Ai Weiwei. Oh, yeah.